Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I have Tomo back as my guest again. So, after coming back from Canada to Japan, what were the problems that you saw in Japan?
Hi.
What were the things that you noticed?
I joined a big international firm in Japan right after I graduated from Canada. So I went straight into that corporate job. Again, it was an international firm, but because it's been in Japan for, I'd say, like over 80 years or something now, it was quite domestic. And this happens for the majority of international companies that come into Japan because your clients are mostly Japanese, and so you're having to cater to them accordingly. So that was my company.
Right.
And things I did not gel with the culture of that company. To go back just a bit, rewind. When I was interviewing for Japanese companies and just companies in Japan in general, when I was in my last year of university, I think I have a memorable episode where I was interviewing with a domestic bank. Interviewer was this like mid-50s probably dude. His next question was, I was 20, 21 or something at this point. But his next question was like, oh, so like in the next few years, do you have plans of getting married and having kids?
Ooh, he
And
went
that
for it.
is illegal
Yeah,
in the US.
yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't think it is in Japan. I believe it's not. When he asked me that, I was just so gobsmacked. I was just like, how is this person asking me this question during an interview? And I did get like through to the next round, but I was like, I'm bowing out. Like, I cannot entertain this opportunity. But I think that episode kind of speaks to the current state of things in Japan still. And yes, it's been like 4 years since that incident, but at the same time, I don't think things are significantly better. I am in a place where I don't think I can tell everything, especially in a public setting, about what I've experienced and what my peers have experienced around me in terms of the rampant misogyny and sexism they've experienced in this country. But because it is what it is, in that like these victims usually have more of a negative repercussion. They suffer those negative repercussions rather than the actual perpetrators. I don't think I can actually talk about specific episodes because, again, legal-wise as well, don't want to be sued. But at the same time, I would say that even though sexism obviously exists in any country to varying degrees, it's quite bad here.
It is.
It's quite bad
very
here.
bad. 日本の文化でなんか、よそよ。
Your business ね。
Your business is your business とか、よそはよそ、うちはうち。
それがあるよね。
で、なんか even if they're doing something very unethical, nobody goes in to stop them. Because it's what they're doing. Like they don't have the right to go in. って思ってんだよね。
なんか like an episode that alludes to that is that I was at Ikebukuro Station or something, and there was a commotion going on. So I approached because I was curious as to what was happening, and there was this like old man, again 50 something, grabbing onto the wrist of this young woman, and then the young woman was like 話してくださいみたいな. And then she was obviously like trying to get away from this man. And what was just so jarring to me was that there was about 5 people standing in front of this whole fight, and like I think a person was taking a photo or a video or something, but the rest were just standing there watching. And to me that was insanity. Like I was just like, how is nobody doing anything? And I just stepped in. I was like, 何してるんですか? 嫌がってんの? わからないですか? みたいな感じで入ってっちゃったの. And then thankfully, like the Ikin-san came quite immediately, and then the situation was rectified because they got them apart. But when I was on my train ride home, I was just really sad because I don't know. I was like, why do I have to be the one who steps in? Like, why isn't anyone doing anything? Like, it's just
especially
clearly
other
abnormal.
Men, like, they could go in and like,
for sure. It's just the fact that situation was clearly abnormal and not okay. Regardless of the context of that fight, しない方がいいんじゃないかっていうのが I think it stops people from acting a certain way.
And they feel like they don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
Were there any other episodes you saw in like work environment? Or?
Again, not going to go into specifics here, but I think I was at one particular nomikai. A guy was obviously harassing this other woman who was sitting next to him, and I called him out on it.
Okay.
Which led to very awkward laughter and
How did
silence
it-
around
how did
the
it
world.
go?
Everyone was just like, like, what is going on? みたいな And then after that incident had ended, I turned to the guy who was sitting next to me and I was like, hey, why didn't you do anything? I was like, you are like, I told him, like, you are obviously in a position, and gender-wise, like, you're in a position where if you say something, it holds weight. Like, you are able to actually change the situation. If I say something, honestly, no one is going to react in the way that I want to.
Yeah.
He was like, honestly, I'm not a young woman, hence I will never be the target of these kind of things. And this is someone that I work with, and I value his like business expertise and whatnot, so I have no incentive to help out.
Okay.
Is what he said. And again, appreciate his honesty, but to me, I was just, that was so jarring because I'm like, maybe just have some empathy. I don't know, for your fellow human.
Yeah.
And so that to me was an extremely jarring episode. But at the same time, I think, again, just an assumption here, but I think that his words there mirror a lot of maybe not majority, but a lot of how men think here.
They may notice there's a problem there, but they value more of the relationship between their clients or like their business partner or like なんかその男性同士のその約束じゃないけど男性同士のお互いを守るみたいな。
でプラス they benefit off of this system,
そう
right? At the end of the day.
そう
別に
Because if you fuck up, they will protect you.
Yeah.
Like, if you harass a girl, they will protect you.
Unpenetrable, that system.
So after working in Japan for 2 years, was it?
1 year ちょっと。
1 year ちょっと。
2年も持たなかった。
2年も持たなかった。You moved to Hong Kong from there?
Yes.
So why did you go to Hong Kong? And what did you see? What did you feel? Tell us everything.
So I moved to Hong Kong in May of 2020. So actually right in the middle of the pandemic and also right in the middle of the protests going on. So I went during quite a tumultuous time. But I wanted to go to Hong Kong because I visited before and I always wanted to experience living there. And I had actually planned on going to Shanghai for language school at that point. But because COVID hit, that got postponed. And I had a few months of obviously time where I did not have any plans, and so I decided to apply for a working holiday visa in Hong Kong. Got it, so I just moved.
Got it?
Got it.
It was during pandemic and the protests, right? Like, what made you, like, なんでまだ行こうと思ったの? Like,
oh, because I just wanted to get out of Japan, to be honest.
You were so desperate.
I was desperate. I was just like, I'm ready for a new adventure, and so packed my 2 suitcases and left.
Wow.
Yeah.